diving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Christmas Eve. Bah humbug, man. I get better every year. We'll put it that way. Progress, right? We got to mark up. We got to leave some room for that progress. Right? I don't know. And my hair is out of control. So I will do everything I can not to shave it off. But I might. Kind of like it when it's shaved. People leave me alone. If my head is shaved and I walk through a crowd, they split. It's kind of uncomfortable. Oh, one more place to share here. There we go. All right, we are done sharing. So, the holidays and stuff, I'm presuming it's the holidays. I haven't had many people. Which actually does affect me. You know, things tend to add up. Right. Hey, would you not mess with that right now? Can you need some love? Huh? Can you need some love? Come here. That could use a little too. Yes, you could. Yes. Yeah. Yes, you could. This is Ronan. He was the runt of the batch. I usually grab the runt. I always grab the runt of the batch because I was the runt. Hey Sawyer, good morning. You ventured out of your room, huh? Come here. Come here. Now they look almost exactly the same. Until you get close, and then you can tell that they're two different cats. I mean, one's much bigger than the other. So, all right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be in the big book, it looks like. Page 130. Oh, I gotta do introductions here. Welcome to Daily Trudge. I'm Dion. I'm your host. I don't know that I necessarily have I'm doing the best. It's just my PTSD is kind of not wanting to. Yeah, it's not wanting to jump on board with a good attitude today. I haven't commented on somebody saying I took it down because I felt it was rude. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. 1:30. Okay. And we'll switch over to chat. Looks like it's going to be a shorter one today. So. I'm actually going to start on the top of page 129 because we cover 130 a lot, and I'll get to 130. But I just want to add a little bit more in today. You know what? Let's go ahead and start on 130, and then I'll continue on to what it usually is. So, all right. Those of us who have spent much time in the world of spiritual make believe have eventually seen the childishness of it. This dream world has been replaced by a great sense of purpose, accompanied by a growing consciousness of the power of God in our lives. We have come to believe he would we have come to believe he would like us to keep our heads in the clouds with him, but that our feet ought to be firmly planted on the earth. That is where our fellow travelers are. And that is where our work must be done. These are the realities for us. We have found nothing incompatible between a powerful spiritual experience and a life of sane and happy usefulness. Right? That is, they're kind of referring to what we would call the pink cloud. Um, um, that we get into the program and we can get pretty elated in yeah. So the point is to keep our feet firmly placed on the ground. I apologize. My PTSD, I mean, it's kicking the shit out of my head right now. So it's hard for me to do this while I'm thinking about the bullshit my family has pulled. This is why I don't like the holidays. It's still better than it was last year, but it still sucks and it makes me angry. Um, you know, I have a family where everybody is supposedly, healthy, but it is far from true. We don't talk about things; we just sweep them under the rug, you know. And I still have a lot of things to fucking say. Um, so today's not easy. Morning, Amber. Good morning, Michelle. It's good to see you both, and I'm glad you're here. So, um, I'm on page 130 in the big book on the second paragraph down. So, um, the counter isn't even close to working. So, it's all right. But good morning and happy Christmas Eve. This morning I was kind of thinking, and this is just kind of funny, if you're atheist or agnostic, you're not supposed to be celebrating Christmas. It's Christ Mass. We don't talk about Bruno. Who? Bruno Mars? Bruno? You've already lost me, and I probably should. My brain is still kind of so. Is that kind of like Fight Club? We don't talk about Fight Club. So, one more suggestion. Whether the family has spiritual convictions or not, they may do well to examine the principles by which the alcoholic member is trying to live. They can hardly fail to approve these simple principles, though the head of the house still fails somewhat in practicing them. Nothing will help the man who is off the spiritual tangent so much as the wife who adopts the same spiritual program, making better practical use of it. Okay, all right, okay. I only saw it once, so that's why I didn't quite catch it. And the only reason I caught it, or the only reason I watched it, is because I have grandchildren. I do not get to pick the TV shows when they're actually that's not true. We were watching Star Wars, but they had so many fucking questions and they couldn't understand it yet. So we switched to Harry Potter. But yeah, I wouldn't say that my wife necessarily took up the same spiritual program that I did because she already had her own spiritual program before we got married. Okay. Shannon been going to Al-Anon since I was 18. Yeah. She doesn't attend Al-Anon that much. She was attending Al-Anon when but I'll tell you, it's not like the alcoholic where she needs to keep going if she doesn't want to. You know, she said she just didn't, you know, that she got a lot out of it, but she didn't feel like she belonged there. I can argue with that. So let's also remember, okay, that our significant others aren't as spiritually sick as us, usually. I know mine wasn't. Not even close. Now, she's been living a spiritual path her whole life. Who am I to come along and make her change it? So let's be careful in this area. You know, what I can't do is force what I do on my family. Now, I talk to my kids about it. They're like, we hated Alateen. I'm like, well, yeah, which means you didn't get anything out of it. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, what am I going to do? So, my reply is, well, hopefully it helped you understand what I was going through a little bit better. But if you're mad, you and I both know. All right. There will be other profound changes in the household. Liquor incapacitated father or mother for so many years that the mother or father became the head of the house. Yes. Shannon has always been head of household. I'm okay with it. Doesn't bother me. I'm going to tell you something. She's better at it than me. I'm not head of household. Now, this is the joke. This is the joke. I wear the pants in the family. Okay. But she tells me which pair to wear. Okay? You know, there's a lot of times I go by her determination because it's most likely better than mine. So, she met these responsibilities gallantly. By force of circumstances, she was obliged to treat father as a sick or wayward child. That's how I felt. I felt like a wayward child. Sometimes I still do. So what do? Well, I make sure that I am not utilizing her for my emotional sobriety, that I can get things taken care of myself. Well, now she has a little bit more work to do because I don't have my license until January 8th. So, yeah. So she meets by force of circumstance. Oh, even when he wanted to assert himself, he could not. Yeah, I couldn't. I tried. I go get a job. I just run the sales job. It had gotten so bad, and I was a fucking phone jockey, man. The phone did not scare me. Calling people and interrupting whatever they were doing was just not something that bothered me. Okay, I did the sales I did were anyway, doesn't matter. For his drinking placed him constantly in the wrong. Yes. See, the alcohol always helped me make wrong decisions. Yeah, it did. It's that, I had no inhibitions. So therefore, things weren't taken into account. Mother made all the plans and gave directions. When sober, father usually obeyed. Thus, mother, through no fault of her own, became accustomed to wearing the family trousers. Father, coming suddenly to life, often begins to assert himself. This means trouble, unless the family watches for these tendencies in each other and comes to a friendly agreement about them. When I was my mom was a drinker. She's got 39 years of sobriety now, so her past in no means shall be held against her in my book. Okay. If there's one person in my family that I have settled the past with, it's my mother. Okay. And what I'm going through right now with my family, my mom doesn't even come to my mind because we settled it. We settled it. So I don't have to. But so when my mom quit drinking, I was kind of taking care of the kids, and I thought I was an adult. I've been taking care of them. I don't know. I wouldn't say for years and years because it wasn't. I'd say probably a year and a half, maybe. towards the end of my mom's drinking career, because it was pretty bad. She'd come home and she'd just go straight upstairs and drink. And I never even really saw her. And she didn't like us coming in there because she was drinking and smoking. But anyway, when my mom got sober, I got very angry. I got very, very angry because I was like, what, you suddenly sobered up and now you think you can take care of the children? Well, I've been doing it a certain way and now you're going to fuck it all up. This is the thought process I had. And at one point my parents sat me down and they said, why are you so mad? And I told them, and I knew how to say all this because, my mom had been going to AA meetings and I'd been going too. Right. I'm a pretty sharp tack, man. I may look like I'm not listening, but I am. Or maybe you're repeating yourself, so I shut you off at that age. And I told her I'm mad because I used to do this, and now you think you can just take it. And their answer and there was more to it. I don't quite remember everything that I said, but that was my main point. I'm sure I went off about some other things that, whatever. And, I believe at one point I pointed to the man that was raising me at the time and I said, and my anger comes from you. And a week later, they put me in a psychiatric center. So why am I telling you this? Because this can have a huge effect, not just on, no, it is the fucking kids that suffer this portion. It's the fucking kids. Okay. So I didn't even get a thank you out of it. Instead, the reaction was put them away. Now there's more to that. There is more to that. It's not like one day, okay. I was out of control in a lot of areas. Okay. And I was dangerous, but that helped them make the decision. Drinking isolates most homes from the outside world. Father may have laid aside for years all normal activities, clubs, civic duties, sports. When he renews interest in such things, a feeling of jealousy may arise. The family may need to hold a mortgage, may feel they hold a mortgage on dad, so big that no equity should be left for outsiders. Instead of developing new channels of activities for themselves, mother and children demand that he stay home and make up for the deficiency. There's got to be a balance in here. Right? Because the family telling an alcoholic not to go to a meeting is very sick in and of itself. Now, it's more than just this. See, the kids have been doing stupid shit too. Well, now that the focus is no longer on dad, guess what? Now they're going to get caught. And in their mind, they don't want this. They don't want it. Okay? Yes, sometimes there will be people that want the alcoholic to relapse. Yeah. When I did it, it seemed like my family almost reveled in it. So, some of them, not my mother, not my mom, but the rest of them, or my sister, but my brothers and Wendell, yeah, they did. Oh, look what he's doing, because then they don't have to worry about what they're doing. All right. At the very beginning, the couple ought to frankly face the fact that each will have to yield here and there if the family is going to play an effective part in the new life. Father will necessarily spend much time with other alcoholics, but this activity should be balanced. Oh, I didn't read ahead. It's just the way it should be. Okay. What's that balance? Well, accountability, communication. Okay. Now, because you need to spend time with your family too. Okay. And enjoy that time. Okay. But in order for me to enjoy that time, it's probably best if I hit a meeting first. Yes. Okay. Tomorrow, I have to be at my mother's at noon, which means I'm not going to be able to hit my noon meeting. That's okay. I will hit a meeting later on in the day. Thank God for Zoom. Heck, I can go to a meeting while I'm going up there because I can't drive. I usually drive. So, you know, so new acquaintances who know nothing of alcoholism might be made and thoughtful consideration given their needs. The problem of the community might engage attention. The problems of the community might engage attention. Though the family has no religious connections, they may wish to make contact with or take membership in a religious body. So, you all know the fact that I do a lot of things in the community, but if I was to work at the same time, I wouldn't be able to do that. Sounds good, Amber. Love you. We'll see you later. All right. I'm getting ready to wrap up anyway. So this one isn't. I have to do step 12 next, and that's going to take me an hour. So this one's going to be a little bit shorter. So all the prayer and the meditation, prayer and meditation in the world will not help me unless they are accompanied by action. I was just thinking about this morning, that because there's somebody in my life right now, and I know that they're doing their best, they're trying their hardest, and they've made decisions, but nothing has happened because they don't know how to put that into action. So I've been trying to think of ways to help them get that into action without me being a dick. All right. This person's very, very close to me. So practicing the principles in all my affairs shows me the care that God takes in all parts of my life. God appears in my world when I move aside and I allow him to step in. Maybe that's what I need to do right now, is just kind of step aside for the day and let God take over. I think that might be good. All right. Well, thank you everybody for being here. It was good seeing you, Michelle. It was good to see you, Amber, who I think has left though. So I hope everybody has a great day. Happy Christmas Eve. Try not to be so. It isn't that I hate Christmas. I just don't like a lot of feelings that it brings to me. Okay. So who is that on? Well, that's on me. Right. But here again, we're going to mark things up to progress, because, even as I say it, my gut feels better. My gut feels better. So, all right. Thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. Thanks, Michelle. Okay, good. I'm glad. I kind of figured one of my alcoholic friends would understand that. Because I don't want to be like, I got grandkids, and it's supposed to be a special time of the year, and I'm over here thinking about all the bullshit my family did. Got to keep in the right place, right? So my thought process has been more along the lines of, when I go tomorrow, what can I do to make it better? What can I do to make it better? Right? I already have one thing, because my sister will make her laugh. I'm supposed to bring Fritos because we're having chili. We don't do presents. And it was funny because my mom asked me to bring Fritos, and then my sister writes me, and she said, I just want to make sure we're on the same page, that we're not doing any presents except for the kids. And I wrote back and I said, I've never brought presents, LOL, because I don't. Why am I going to be presents? I'll talk to you people all year. And we're going to show up. Oh, we're so good at it. No, I don't get involved in that. And I don't want any presents either, because then there's an expectation there. And nah, I'd just rather our relationship be what it is, right? Except for the kids. Okay. The kids are, and then she wrote back, she's like, well, Fritos are a present. So I'm going to wrap the Fritos. I'm going to wrap them in wrapping paper and give them to my mom and be like, I know you said no presents, but here you go. And she can unwrap a bag of Fritos. And my sister will get a kick out of it. Things like that, you know. I can be enjoyable when I want to be, but sometimes it's hard to get over that I fucking hate you hump. I don't. I don't. But what goes through my mind is kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, man. So, and I don't want to go and I just don't want to be angry. All right. Then I go back to, over this last year, I did see my family. It was my niece's birthday party, and I enjoyed myself. And when I think of that, it's like, well, see, Dion, you can do it. You can do it. But why does Christmas make it harder? It's just another day. You know, it doesn't change what I do. So, you know, because people are like, why are people coming my life? And a friend told me, she's like, well, Dion, it's Christmas and everybody's busy. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not. It's not. It's a little bit more. I was gonna go do some Christmas shopping, but I can't because I don't have my driver's license. I was gonna try and participate more. Maybe God just wants me to help alcoholics through these holidays, and that's fair. I can go for that. I can. So, all right. Thank you. I'm ending this time. So, I don't know. Something told me to talk on that. So, and I listened to my gut. I listened to my gut because this is today. It's not on my side. So, all right. I love you. You know I do. Peace out.